Hello, and thank you for joining me for today's episode of The Thing About Birth. Each episode I will dive into a different topic relating to birth, pregnancy, hypnobirthing and parenting. Keep an eye out for special Q&A episodes, guest episodes and relaxation episodes. Thank you to those who have liked, shared, subscribed, watched and listened so far. It really means the world to me. Enjoy! Hi everybody, just a quick note to say that I am recording through my earbuds again, and so if the noise quality isn't quite the same as usual, that's why. But we've got builders in literally on the wall next door to me, so they are quite noisy. It's absolutely fine, there's no issue with it whatsoever, but I didn't want the noise coming through onto the episode. Things have been a bit chaotic here this past week, between extension works and desperately needing a plumber and some stuff with the kids, and it's the summer holidays, so I'm going to probably keep this one a little bit shorter if I can. I do have a bit of a tendency to waffle, so hopefully I won't. So this episode is my 24-week pregnancy update, so I was 24 weeks on Monday, so there should be about 4 weeks or so now between updates, as I don't want to do one every single week because I think that not a lot changes massively week to week, but also I don't want to put the pressure on myself of recording, editing and posting weekly, because I stopped doing that on purpose because it was causing just a little bit overwhelming for me. Since the last time we spoke about my pregnancy, we've been on holiday for a week and I have noticed quite a few changes in myself. So we'll talk about symptoms first. My sickness has gone right down. I've noticed now I'm only really being sick if something triggers it, like a funny smell, for example, or a certain food, although I don't really have much in the way of actual food aversions. My appetite, on the other hand, is still quite hit and miss, so a lot of the things that I used to like to eat, I don't really find myself wanting to eat at the moment, and I find it really hard to know what I want to eat as well. I'm trying really hard to maintain a healthy balance, trying to drink lots of water, trying to stay away from fizzy pop, juice. Not that there's anything wrong with juice, but I'll get to another symptom that I've got in a moment that's fun. Oh, sorry about that, my tripod stand started to slide down really suddenly. Yes, so I'm trying to maintain a healthy balance and get a good mix of fibre and protein in my diet, and iron-rich foods as well. But it's really hard because I just one day to the next don't know what I want to eat, so it's hard to plan meals in. I also have like really bad indigestion now. Now I do have reflux disease already, GERD it's called, and so I know that my esophagus and my digestive tract is really sensitive to indigestion and heartburn already, but obviously as the baby's getting bigger, and I can definitely feel that things have kind of moved up in my abdomen, it's just squashing my stomach, and so I don't have to even eat anything that should be particularly triggering to heartburn or indigestion for it to start, and I can sometimes just be sitting minding my own business and it'll come out of nowhere. So that's one of the reasons why I'm trying to avoid juice as well. Try not to eat anything too spicy, trying not to eat a lot of pastry, trying to keep my portion sizes smaller. So that's all a bit of a challenge, but it could be so much worse. I'm still having congestion issues with my nose. It's not too bad, and I think that helps largely because I work from home most of the time, and so I've got an air purifier, I'm in my own environment, I can open the windows when I want, and sometimes in the office where I work, the aircon can really trigger my nose, so that was an issue that I had before I was pregnant as well a lot of the time. Bump is getting bigger, so there will be a photo update shortly on my social media pages, so you'll be able to see some growth there. I've not started having growth scans or anything yet, that's 30 weeks, I think that it looks bigger because, like I've said before, before I got pregnant, I had the extra padding already. So I think that it's gotten bigger because of that. But obviously baby is growing, which I'm thrilled about. Baby is moving a lot as well. So something that I've noticed the past couple of weeks in particular is that the movements have really picked up, and they're no longer a case of I'm not really sure if that is movement, it's definite movement. So they're really active at the moment, which is really nice. I'm getting back pain up towards my shoulder blades. Now it's a pain that I've had on and off since I had my first child, that I tend to get if I'm like doing something that puts strain or pressure on my back. Say if I'm standing washing the dishes for a while, if I'm out on a long walk, if I am sitting in a funny position, but normally it goes away once I've stopped doing that activity or I've adjusted how I'm standing or sitting. But now it's pretty constant, and it mainly seemed to increase while we were on holiday. So we went to a caravan holiday, and obviously caravans, they're fantastic for a lot of reasons, but they're not always the most comfortable to sit or sleep in. So, and I couldn't take my pregnancy pillow because it would have been too big. Excuse me. Too big for the bed. So I think that that's a lot of it's carried over from that, but now it just seems to be like if I'm out with the kids and I'm having to kind of manage them, or I'm walking about a lot, it hurts. If I've got to stand and cook or stand and do the washing up, it hurts. Sitting at my desk, it hurts. So I'm just trying to manage it. I've got deep freeze, and I'm going for a pregnancy massage by a physiotherapist in a couple of weeks. And I've got some stretches that I can do that I went over at yoga this week that I think will be really beneficial. So I'm going to try and incorporate those daily to see if that makes a difference as well. I do just think it's overcompensating for my size on the front, and sort of obviously when you're pregnant you stand a bit funny, and you like your center of gravity shifts. So I think it's obviously I'm being pulled forward a little bit. I've got some areas on my skin that are getting really uncomfortable and hot and itchy in the heat, and so that's not fun. I'm hoping that'll calm down when the weather starts to cool off a bit. Not that it's roasting, but when you're pregnant you are basically a human incubator, so you are hotter. Speaking of the heat, it's not been bothering me too much really. It's only if I'm out and about and I can't get to a cooler area quicker. And I think that that's largely it. Oh, my hips hurt a bit if I've been sitting down for a while and then I get up. I think I'm just really stiff, so I need to incorporate just some gentle daily movements. I was trying to exercise a few times a week, but that's kind of gone off plan for the moment, just because we were on holiday. Now we're back from holiday and we're in the throes of sorting out the holiday bits and pieces and the extension and the summer holidays. So it's one of those things where it's just trying to fit everything into the day. But largely, I feel quite well. I feel like I've got a bit more energy for the most part. As long as I'm careful with my activities and not overexerting myself, then things seem to be alright. So hopefully that'll continue, and I keep telling myself that all of the symptoms I've got are very, very mild and it could be a lot worse. So I'm overall doing okay. Like I said, the baby's moving a lot more now, and we were on holiday, which was brilliant. We really enjoyed it, but it was tiring. We went on holiday for a week to Haggerston Castle and stayed in a caravan, and other than the discomfort of just being pregnant while you're on holiday, it was really fun. We really enjoyed it, and it was during that week that I really noticed the picking up in baby's movements. I did go to our local pregnancy assessment unit earlier this week because I'd been really busy over the weekend and just realised that baby's movements felt different. I wasn't feeling them for as long, and they just felt a bit softer. So I hummed and hawed about it, which you should never do. If you were ever concerned about baby's movements, you should get in touch with the right people straight away. We have a natural inclination to persuade ourselves not to, and I'm not sure why, because it's so important to monitor baby's health. So I did hum and har about it. I almost convinced myself that I thought everything was fine, and then I just decided to go. Everything was absolutely fine. At this gestation, they just listen into heartbeat and they just make sure that they're getting a certain amount of beats per minute. And they take a urine sample and just check your, your overall blood pressure, oxygen levels, etc. And everything was absolutely fine. And since then, everything's gone back to normal. So I think sometimes when we're really, really busy, it can have a knock-on effect. And it was really hot, so I was probably a little bit dehydrated too. But it can have a knock-on effect, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't get checked out. You should always get checked out because that's what they're there for. And if anybody ever tells you otherwise, they're wrong. This week I also had I had somebody come out to the house. I think she was a midwife, and what they do, this wasn't a service that we had when I had my other two children, but what they do is they come out and they meet with you about postpartum care largely, and about preterm bonding with baby, and hand expressing colostrum. So she came out and that was really lovely because it was just nice to see what levels of support are now available that maybe weren't available back when I had my last child 4 years ago. She went through lots of different things with me, told me about different antenatal classes that are going on in the area. And I really enjoyed the visit. So she talked about birth plans. She was really positive about our, use of hypnobirthing and just other things like that. So that was really great. I've had my gestational diabetes tests, glucose tolerance tests this week as well. So I don't think that they will be positive. I don't have any symptoms for it, but we do have diabetes that runs in the family, or a history of diabetes in the family. So it's always, it's not a test that you have to have. It's not a test everybody is recommended. It's a test you can decline, even if it's thought that it would be wise to have it. My personal preference is that I would rather be aware of it if I do have it, but I probably don't. So that involves doing a fasted blood test, coming back 2 hours later after having a drink of this like sugary, watery, I'm not really sure what's in it, to be honest, but it tastes questionable. And then coming back and having another blood test. They send them off to see what the results are. So if I have got gestational diabetes, I'll know by the end of today. So I'll let you know how that goes. My next midwife appointment is at the end of the month. It was meant to be next week, but it was accidentally booked on a day where they don't have the midwife clinic on, and she thought that my appointment was yesterday. So she's rearranged that, and so I'm looking forward to that because I think that's when they start listening into the heartbeat. And right now my main focus is when we need to sit down and start making other preparations. So at the moment, most of our baby stuff is in our loft, so at some point we need to start thinking about what we need to get down, if there are any new things we need, and start thinking about birth plans and stuff. So I'm excited about that. I'm still enjoying the pregnancy yoga, and our hypnobirthing course is going really well. And I'm just, I'm feeling a lot more positive at the moment. I'm starting to visualize a positive birth experience and how I want it to look, and just feeling mostly excited, although overwhelmed at how fast the time is going. I'm 24 weeks and 5 days at the moment. On Monday I'll be 25 weeks, and that's crazy. So because of the time that I'm due, I want to start thinking ahead to Christmas and stuff, because obviously I've got 2 other children and family. So I want to start thinking ahead to that so I can have all of that sorted and organised and arranged well in advance. And yeah, that's where we are at the moment. So my next update for you will be at around 28 weeks. Is that right? 28 weeks thereabouts, unless anything particularly exciting or interesting happens then. And at some point I do want to start sharing a little bit about what our birth plans might look like, and what our, like, how I'm going to go about writing that, and what our hospital bag might look like, and all sorts of things. So I'm excited to share those with you as well. So thank you for listening today, and bye until next time. Thank you so much for listening today. Please, if you haven't already, like, share, subscribe, and leave a 5-star rating. You can also follow me on Facebook and Instagram at Ashley Nicole Hypnobirthing, and sign up for my monthly mailing list, The Thing About Birth, where you'll also get a free birth plan template and writing guide. See you next time.